All right, guys. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it loud. The era of the blue blood is officially over. Put the tombstone in the ground, bury the tradition, and stop telling me you need 100 years of history to win a national championship. If you're still sitting there thinking that the Alabamas and the Ohio States of the world have a divine right to the mountaintop, Curt Cignetti just slapped the entire sport in the face.
I know I'm asking a lot, you guys, but hunker it down one more time.
Indiana, a program that literally had the most losses in college football history, just went 16-0. They didn't just win, they broke the hierarchy. They proved that the blue blood status is nothing more than a glorified country club membership that just got revoked. Now, before we dive into how the Indiana Hoosiers 16-0 run just changed everything you know about this sport, do me a huge favor. Hit that like button and subscribe right now. The Hunker Down Podcast is going to be your home for college football content 365 days a year. Now, we don't stop when the confetti falls, baby. We're talking ball year round. Ryan, tell me I'm wrong, man. Tell me the world isn't upside down right now.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can't tell you you're wrong because the scoreboard, it doesn't lie. But to understand how we got here, you have to look at the man holding the blueprint, Curt Cignetti. You know, he wasn't a splash hire to the casual fan. He wasn't the young 35-year-old hotshot offensive coordinator from a Power 5 school. He's a guy who spent 40 years in the trenches, Matt. Think about his journey to where he is today. IUP, Elon, James Madison. At every single stop, the guy did one thing. He won, plain and simple. When he walked into Bloomington and told reporters, I win, just Google me, we all laughed. You know, we thought it was cute. We thought, okay, Grandpa, let's see how that works in the Big Ten. But he brought that Nick Saban discipline from his time as a recruiting coordinator at Alabama, and he mixed it in with an absolute fixer mentality. He didn't come to Indiana to build a culture over 5 years. He came to win on Saturdays, period. He's different because he's not selling a dream. He's executing a process. He's a veteran who knows exactly what a winning roster looks like, and he didn't care about the Indiana patch on the jersey. He just saw a platform to prove he's the best in the business, period.
And that's the thing, Ryan. The platform he inherited was a graveyard. For decades, the Indiana football turnaround was considered the impossible job. We're talking about a program that before Cignetti was the losingest program in FBS history. They had 715 losses. This was a place where coaches went to cash a final check before retiring or moving back to the MAC. It was a basketball school that played football, and only because the Big Ten required it. So how do you flip that? You don't do it in a 5-year plan. You do it with a culture of now. Cignetti walked in and completely gutted the building. He brought in his guys from JMU, guys who already knew how to win, and then he went hunting. He developed a mindset where Indiana didn't mean doormat anymore. Look, you got to look at the development of Fernando Mendoza. This guy comes in via the portal. He wins the Heisman and leads a 16-0 season. That doesn't happen at Indiana. But Cignetti's scheme is so adaptable and his belief is so infectious that the players actually started believing that they were the hunters. He replaced that happy to be here Indiana vibe with a we're here to take your lunch money attitude. That Indiana Hoosiers 16-0 record, it's not a fluke. It's the result of a guy refusing to accept the historical reality of his employer. Bottom line.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. You hit the nail on the head with the now mentality. This is where we talk about massive college football power shift. 10 years ago, Indiana stayed at the bottom forever because they couldn't out-recruit Ohio State with 4-star and 5-star high school kids. They just couldn't. But the modern era, NIL and the transfer portal allowed Cignetti to bypass that old model. He didn't have to wait 3 years for a recruiting class to grow up. He went out and bought, and I mean that in the best way possible, a veteran roster. That's what he did. He leveraged Indiana's alumni base. He got the NIL money right and brought in 53 transfers over 2 years. He built an NFL-style roster in 18 months. This challenges the belief, Matt, that only the elites can dominate. If you have the right coach, if you have the right NIL collective, you can buy a seat at the table. It's plain and simple nowadays. This season, Indiana didn't just play with the big boys. They bullied them. They beat Oregon. They beat Ohio State. And they capped it off by taking down the Miami Hurricanes in the title game. You know, it shows the blue blood advantage of prestige is being replaced by the new blood advantage of agility. Indiana moves faster than the traditional powers, and that's why they're holding the trophy tonight, Matt. Plain and simple.
Yep, plain and simple. But I tell you what, let's get into it. This is the part that's going to set the comment section on fire. Ryan, is Indiana the new powerhouse? Or are we looking at the greatest perfect storm in the history of the sport that we'll never see again? What are your thoughts?
You know, man, I think it's a bit of both because I'm leaning towards sustainable, right? People said the same thing about Oregon 20 years ago. And look at them now. Once you prove you can win a national championship at a place like Indiana, the why not us factor becomes a recruiting tool. Cignetti, he's got a massive extension. The facilities, they're being upgraded. The blueprint is there. I mean, it's there.
Yep.
And as long as Cignetti is there, I think personally Indiana is going to be a problem. They've tasted the blood, Matt. You just don't go back to being a doormat team after a 16-0 season. I don't think so.
Well, see, I'm a bit more skeptical. I think this was the ultimate Moneyball season. They found the market inefficiencies. They had a Heisman quarterback play out of his mind, and they caught the traditional powers in a transition year. And do I think they'll stay at the top 10? Maybe. But staying at the level of a college football parity leader is hard. Every program in the country is going to spend the next 6 months studying what Indiana did. And why wouldn't they? The secret's out. The Blue Bloods, they're going to adjust. If I'm Florida or Nebraska, heck, even Auburn, I'm looking at Indiana, and honestly, I'm embarrassed. I'm saying if they can do it, we have no excuse. The pressure on those mid-tier big programs, man, it just went through the roof. And at the end of the day, the Indiana football turnaround is the best thing to happen to this sport in a generation. It proves that the playoff expansion was the right move, and that college football isn't just a buzzword, it's the new law of the land. Curt Cignetti didn't just win a title. He gave hope to every bottom feeder program in the country. He showed that with a fearless coach, a savvy use of the portal, and a Google me attitude, you could turn 700 losses into a 16-0 masterpiece. Blue Bloods, you better take note. The Hoosiers aren't just coming. Man, they're already here.
Oh, yeah, Matt. Well said, man. I mean, it's a new world in college football, folks. Make sure you guys comment below. Is Indiana here to stay, or was this one a one-time miracle? Let us know in the comments. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to our channel. We want to hear your feedback.
Exactly, guys. Keep the debate going in the comments. We'll be back next week to break down the 2026 season, the upcoming season, and whatever else we can talk about, guys. But we're out of here. Without further ado, you know what it is, baby. Go Dogs! Go Dogs!
From Athens to the nation, our Bulldogs in the game. Kirby Smart's the mastermind, remember the name. Leading with precision, championships in sight. 2021 and 2022, we secured the fight. Stetson thrown darts, cold and precise. That was in the end zone, clutch every time, no ice.